Turn on your camera. Okay, show me your graphic. Show me your graphic.
Teacher, my camera.
Closer, put it closer, Daniela. Put it closer to the. Put it closer to the camera.
I don't know if it's good, but
Doesn't matter. Just show it to me. Put it closer. Well, it's not really like a curve. It's not like a curve. It's not like a curve. The graphic. It's kind of a line, but not really a curve. Maybe you didn't do it exactly with the measurements. Maybe that's why. Okay. Hold on. Polanco, where are you? Polanco here. Polanco, Aaron Silvera, Aaron, and Cox. Who else did it? Cox. Let me see. Okay, got it. Who else did it? Show it to me. Show it to me, Vanessa. No, the graphic. I see only letters, the graphic. Jesus Christ, I cannot see. Now, next time, please use a marker, something like that. You didn't maybe with pencil. So it's hard, it's difficult to see it. Who else did it? Martinez. Show it to the camera. Only 2 persons did it.
Teacher, I did it. My camera's messed up, and I think I have to restart my computer, so I'd have to like leave for a moment.
Okay, no problem. Okay, the idea for you is to see how the graphic ended, how was formed, how you create the graphic. That was the idea. Okay, it wasn't like a exact circle, but at the beginning you have some changes, and then it looks like a curve, but it wasn't exactly like a curve. It was like a line, straight line. Okay. So anyway, you will have another chance to do it because I have another assignment for you for next week. Hold on, at the end of the class. Now let's go right to the class, guys. Today's I'm gonna play a short motivational video, and then we go straight.
Sometimes you just have to believe in yourself. There's a good chance that all you've ever been told or made to feel in your life so far is that you can't do. That every time you even dared to dream your life could be better, you were shot down or laughed at, made to feel small, made to feel useless, made to feel like an idiot for even thinking you could be more. All of us have had these moments in our life where just at that point we thought it was possible, a massive shadow of doubt was thrown on us, normally by someone close to us. All you've ever done when you thought about that thing that you want is picture all the hard work it'll take to get there. You paint such a negative picture in your mind of all this pain that your brain does everything it's supposed to and keeps you safe and avoids the pain. Because of this picture you're painting, your brain will associate pain with that thing that you want and do everything in its power to avoid it. When you think it's not going to be possible and you're going to fail, your brain thinks disappointment, which is pain, and it avoids it. When you think it's going to be hard work and it's going to take ages, your brain thinks pain and avoids it. The first thing you've got to do to get what you want is believe that you can. Believe it's possible for you to have it. And if there's someone out there that has done it or got what you want, why the f ain't it possible for you? We're all born with the same amount of time in a day, and anything that they can do, you can do too. Believe that you can, and once you want something and believe that you can get it, you've got to block out all of the noise around you that's going to tell you can't do it. Don't listen to all that. Just believe that you can. The next thing you've got to start doing is focusing on all the good that will happen when you get what you want, not all the you've got to go through to get there. Focus on how your life will be better and what your life will look like when you get what you want. Focus on all the in your life now and how getting what you want will get away from all that. You do this, and your brain will think that by helping you get what you want, you're moving away from pain and towards pleasure. You can do anything you want in this life, anything at all. But you've got to believe it's possible and work your ass off to get it. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Listen, if you want more motivational fire coming to you every single week, then subscribe to my channel right here. If you don't know why you should subscribe yet, and you need a little bit more...
Okay, in order to the things happen, then you have to believe. If you don't believe in yourself, then I don't think you'll be able to make things to happen. Okay, guys, that's the phrase for today's class, the idea. Okay, now, because we have to move on with the production possibility curve, now we are going to see a video that summarizes what I'm going to introduce today. That is the last part of this chapter, okay? Please pay attention. It's the same dude yesterday explained the production possibility curve. Now he's going to explain the shifting, the production possibility curve.
Hey, how you doing, Econ students? This is Mr. Clifford. Welcome to ACDC Econ. Right now, we're going to talk about how the production possibilities curve shifts. You must shift it. You must shift it. So it's important for you to get used to the idea of things shifting. In Econ, we explain concepts, and then we put those concepts to numbers, those numbers on a graph, and then usually we shift the graph. You're going to see it in micro and macroeconomics, and it all starts with the production possibilities curve. We've established that any point inside the curve is inefficient because we could produce more of each good, and any point on the curve is efficient. And we know that a point outside the curve is impossible or not attainable given our current resources. But what if we get more resources? That's right, the production possibilities curve can shift. You must shift it! Now there's two things that shift the production possibilities curve: a change in the quantity or quality of resources, or a change in technology. For example, in 1920, there's a certain number of cars and corn that we could produce. But now we can produce way more than we did before. That point right there that was once impossible is now possible. This is because we have new and better resources and because we have better technology. Now there's one more option that can shift the curve, which is the idea of trade. Now when countries specialize in trade, they can get other products at a lower opportunity cost than if they produce it themselves. That means the production possibilities curve would shift out in the amount that they can consume. It doesn't mean that they can produce more than they could before, but they can get more than before because of trade. Now you're going to learn a whole lot more about this, and you're going to learn about something called comparative advantage. Make sure to watch this video, it's going to help you out. Now let's get back to shifting the production possibilities curve. I'm going to give you 4 examples, and I want you to figure out what happens to the production possibilities curve for consumer goods and capital goods. Now, a quick reminder, consumer goods are made for direct consumption, like pizza. Capital goods are made for indirect consumption, so it's like an oven. So capital goods are tools and machinery to produce consumer goods. For each one of these scenarios, draw a separate production possibilities curve and show what happens in each one of the situations. Number 1, what if we have faster computers and better technology? For number 2, what if a country's power plants were destroyed and so it had a decreased amount of electricity they could produce? For number 3, what if there was an increase in the number of people who are unemployed and there was a recession in the economy? And number 4, what if there's an increase in education? Make sure to pause this video and I'll go over the answers. For number 1, if we have new computers and better technology, the entire production possibilities curve will shift outward. We can produce more consumer goods and more capital goods. For number 2, a destruction of power plants would mean we have less resources, in this case electricity, which is super important for an economy, and that would cause the production possibilities curve to shift inward. We produce less consumer goods and we can produce less capital goods. And that's exactly what happened to Japan when there was the earthquake and the tsunami. The combination right here, which was efficient, became impossible because the resources were destroyed. Now let's compare that to number 3, when we have a recession and a bunch of unemployed workers. That would not be a shift in the curve, right? The curve does not shift inward because the workers are still alive. Now, if the workers died, that would mean we don't have a resource, the entire curve would shift inward. But the workers are alive, they're just not being used. That means it's a point inside the curve. Remember, a point in the curve is inefficient or it's unemployment of our resources. So workers who are unemployed is a point in the curve, not a shift in the curve. Okay, and for number 4, the last one, an improvement in education would result in a shift outward of the curve. Remember, this is not more workers, it's better workers. The quality of workers increase. This is the idea of human capital. If our workers are better trained and more intelligent, that would cause us to be able to produce more stuff. To help you understand this concept, go ahead and watch the 3rd episode of my series Econ Movies. I use the movie Monsters, Inc. to explain the production.
Okay, guys, so I know this guy talked too fast, but anyway, we'll go over all these things in this PowerPoint. But anyway, yesterday's video and today's video both are already in your platform. So if after we finish to explain this class, then you can go over and maybe you will see everything with another point of view. Okay, now yesterday we finished in this. Okay, the shape of the production possibility curve shows the 3rd important economic concept. Now, this is the law of increasing opportunity cost. The law of increasing opportunity cost, which states that as product switch from one product to another. Remember, we were talking about now in this occasion we're talking about guns and what was the other one? Guns and let me see. Guns and see where are, oh my God, we're talking about where are they? Here are an example. Where is it? Here, guns and butter. Yes, okay, 2 products. Okay, every point going along shift. Okay, explain this already. Now this one, increasing cost. Every point along, where I was. I explained this yesterday and we were to do this. Okay, every point along this PC shows a different combination of military and consumer production. Yes, it was yesterday. Remember that I explained it. Regarding of the combination, each point represent efficiency. All of these represent efficiency. Efficiency, the most that can be produced with the available resource. Now, any point inside the curve represents point inside over here in this area represent underutilization or the inefficient use of the available resource. And I'm going to stop over here because you have already your documents in your platform, so we have to print and then you will discuss because we don't have enough time. Okay, now the shape of the PC shows the 3rd important, okay, I jumped this part, the previous one. Shows the 3rd important economic concept, that is the law of increasing opportunity cost. We state that as production switch cambia from one product to another, increasingly more resources are needed, definitely, to increase the production of the second one, which causes opportunity cost to raise. Remember, when we're talking about the bread and the muffin, then if we want to have 35 muffin, then that means the opportunity cost is 2 loaves of bread and we're gonna be producing only 10. So this law is what we just explained, the law of increasing opportunity cost, okay? Example, increase opportunity cost. Over here, this is an example. A nation makes 250 million pounds of butter. Remember, butter represents what it says over here. Butters represents consumer products, okay? All the products. Now, okay, 0.1 on the curve. Let me see if this one, 0.1 over here, 0.1 on the curve. Let me go back, okay? Now, an nation makes 250 million pounds of butter, 0.1 on the curve, but wants to make 280 million pounds, 0.2 over here, 0.2, 2 million and something. Let me see, 2.80, yes, over here. 200, 250, 280, something like this, close to 300, okay? But they are talking in millions, points, okay? Points from 1 to 0.2 on the curve. The opportunity cost of making the extra 30 million pounds of butter is 37 millions of gone. That's the opportunity cost. Why? Because they are reducing from here to here, more or less. Okay, over here, from here to here, from 1 to 2. That is So they are increasing the millions of pounds of butter and then decreasing. They are decreasing the millions of guns. Okay, that's what it says, and that's the law that we just explained it. Let's move on. 37. Now, how do you do the math? You grab 37 millions divided by 30 millions. That's what you get from the subtraction of the difference, and then you're gonna get 1.2 millions. Okay. Right now, maybe you cannot see it, but you have to take time, as I said, and revise all this information that is already in your PDF. Okay, that'll work out to a cost about 1.2 guns for every pound of butter. 1.2 guns for every pound of butter. If the nation then increases its output of butter further from 280 to 312 million, that is over here. That is over here, here. Pounds, point number 5. Here is the point number 5. If they want to make it go further, it would have to give up, that is the opportunity cost, of 63 million guns, which is an opportunity cost of nearly 2 guns for every pound of butter. Now, this increase the opportunity cost. Yes, of course, it's increased. Each additional unit has a great cost than the last one. The reason of this increasing cost is fairly straightforward. Making butter involves different resources than making guns. Converting from guns production to butter production is not a simple procedure. New machines must be produced, new factories must be built, and workers must be trained. The cost of all of these will be fewer and fewer guns. Okay, now over here there's a question that I am not going to over that question. Now, changing production possibility, that is the chief production that this guy just explained in the video. Changing production possibility. The PPC illustrates a country's present production possibility as if all resources are fixed. Remember, you have to assume something. However, a country's supply of resources is likely to change over time, definitely. Why? Because they have new technology, a new know-how. When additional resources become available, new production possibility beyond the original frontier becomes attained, and the BPC moves outward. Example, a shift in PPC. Now it says, in the late 1700, the United States occupied a relatively narrow strip of land along the Atlantic coast. Yet, in less than 100 years, it had expanded to the Pacific. This additional land provided the United States with an abundance of natural resources. Similarly, successive waves of immigration have added huge number of workers to the labor pools. Also, new technology has made the use of land, labor, and capital more efficient. The addition of new resources of the more efficient use of resources are already available meant that the United States could produce more goods and services. This is shown on the PCS shift of the curve outward, is coming next, or the right, moving to the right, and figure 1.6 illustrate economic refers to this increase in the economics total output as economic growth. This is an economic growth. You learn more about this concept in chapter 12, but anyway, okay, this is how it increases, okay? The economy in the United States from 1,700 to nowadays. Now they move, why? Because they get more resources and they got more people because there were people coming from Europe. Immigration, a lot of immigration coming to United States, so they have to increase. That's the only way that you can move. You can go further from this frontier, and then they move to this frontier. That's the only way to make this happen, okay? When you get more, like it says, more resources or increased productivity shift the PPC upward or to the right from PPC1, over here PPC1 is this one, to PPC2. This means that the economy can produce more or both guns and border and 0.4 over here, they can produce more, 0.4, which was a production impossibly in figure 1.5, the previous one on page 20. Now it's located on the curve over here. Okay, guys, now over here there are some questions to analyze. We don't have enough time for this. Now, what I want you to do, guys, you need to do the vocabulary and keywords. And on page 23, okay, let me stop right here. And I want you to open your books on page 23. Page 23. I need you to, this is the assessment. Underline these questions, okay, in that page. Question number 1. Underline it because you have to do it after, you have to do that after the graphic that I assigned you to do it. Okay, guys? Remember, yesterday I give you, do this graphic. Then if you haven't done it, please do it because I'm going to check your books. Okay?
Teacher,
So, if you haven't done it, then I want you to do it. Okay? The graphic that I left yesterday and that is already in your platform in the PowerPoint. Okay, now at the end, after this graphic, you need to write assessment, and then you are going to answer question number 1. Question number 2. Question number 3, underline it. Question number 4. And question number 5. I want you to answer those questions and we'll check it out next class. And also, over here, there is a practice like I left yesterday. Okay, over here there is a chart and you need to create a graphic with this information. Okay, now you have to complete question from 1 to 5. And then also you need to complete this graphic and also to have to place some letters over there in that graphic that explain it over there. Okay, you have to create that graphic and then you have to answer letter A, B, C, and D, and that's it. Understood? Daniela goes like this. Come on, guys, this is easy. This is